Hello everyone, dear friends, welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I will continue my series and analyze, also the indicators of the trading system with them. There are two interesting indicators up next. They are old, but under certain market conditions, they provide excellent returns. I went a little further and today I will show you how to use them in a completely new way. So watch, I think it will be interesting. At the same time, I will conduct a deposit boost for you. And we begin. So, friends, today I'm using two indicators. These are Fractal Chaos, a cool indicator, I will explain later how to work with it, and Momentum, a trade for a decrease immediately. The price has reached its maximum, apparently according to Fractal Chaos, and its green boundary is starting to turn downwards. The second signal is seen from the Momentum indicator. A red bar on the histogram also appears and indicates a possible decline. Overall, the price is currently in a sideways trend. Its boundaries can be outlined in this way. That is, the price in a sideways trend moves from the lower to the upper boundary and so on. Alright, a bit crooked, but it's okay. In general, the price has now approached its upper boundary. This is indicated by Fractal, Chaos, and Momentum. Next, I will explain how to use all these indicators clearly. The only thing I will say right away is that signal filtering is the main feature of this strategy. If we overlook this aspect, we won't be able to fully realize the entire potential. You also need to monitor where the candles are in relation to the lines in the Fractal Chaos. If they are close to the lower line, it may mean that a reversal is possible. And conversely, if they are near the green line, then the reversal is only downward towards a decline. The first trade being profitable is wonderful. Let me continue explaining with the next trades that need to be found. So friends, now I'll execute a trade and show you the indicator settings. The position for an increase. Firstly, the child's fractal line is directed upwards in the momentum bar indicator, colored green, is above the 0 mark. Accordingly, before this, there was a strong upward movement in the price. You see the growth, and some levels were formed based on their structures. We can understand what exactly the price will react to in the future. In which places? Right here, here. The momentum indicator, by the way, is one of the cornerstones of technical analysis. It is easy to use, simple to interpret, and in principle, in its settings, there are no smoothing adjustments. That is, it only shows what is on the market. Because of this, and it doesn't have the drawbacks of lagging indicators in technical analysis, meaning it shows what is on the market. It immediately shows us, and everyone can see where the price is heading. It's wonderful. And a confident plus to my balance, excellent. In the fractal, by the way, I have set the period to 2, just like his fractal 2. And at the moment, let's do everything. And let's move on to the next contract. Here, friends, definitely a short, because in the Chaos Fractal there was a crossing of curves where the red color dominates. This might indicate a break in the structure. The trend may not go down, but in the near future, there will be 100% downward pressure. Consider such situations as well. They will appear on your chart and in practice. In such cases, you can open short positions, especially if you also consider that the momentum histograms are starting to decrease. So in principle, it's quite an interesting and simple trading system. If you further support it with visual analysis and your experience, as you understand, unfortunately, you can't go anywhere in trading without it. Then the result will not take long to appear. Well, in principle, like most trading systems, that's why I started reviewing all the indicators. In principle, they all work. There are favorites. There are those that are more complex to interpret, but situations for them can be found absolutely everywhere, and being able to use them correctly and having decent experience. Friends, another plus. Great, $69 in the balance. As I said, today is about acceleration. I hope it turns out successfully. This is my first attempt. I hope everything works out. Cool, let's keep going. So friends, this is not a very simple situation. I will be opening a short position. Although the momentum histogram bars are colored red, they are starting to decrease. Nevertheless, the green boundary of the fractal is directed downwards. There was a pronounced price decline. That's why I think a more pronounced upward correction might occur. But if the price stabilizes, there will be two outcomes. Either a sideways movement will begin, or the price will break out. a breakout upwards. It will be interesting to see how this trade closes. In general, I would probably recommend beginners to skip such situations because they are absolutely ambiguous. There are several different scenarios for how events might unfold. Some trades actually close, you could say, right on the edge. And this luck can work both in your favor and against you, you see. Nevertheless, the trade is in profit, $251 on the balance, wonderful. Let's continue, let's try to earn more. Look, the candles have broken through the lower fractal band, which is a strong signal to open a short position. In this case, it is so. The red bars on the momentum indicator are starting to grow. They are well below the zero line, confirming that the trend will continue to decline. Recently, there was also a crossing of the curves. Although the green line dominates over the red, the trend continues to fall as the bears have confidently strengthened and are pushing the currency pair downward. Here it's 100% short. If someone doesn't understand if such a situation occurs in the market, you can simply avoid it. Here are a few more words I wanted to say specifically about the chaos fractal. Why I included it today instead of the classic fractal. It acts, that is, its lines act as levels of support and resistance. And visually for beginners, it will most likely be much easier to interpret on the necessary charts. That is, when there is a clear trend. That's where it will be great. Either a clear trend or a clear sideways movement. Friends, super, the trade is in profit by $482. I have a profit again. The strategy is showing good results. Today, I hope you understand this too. Super. Sometimes, there are moments when it's better not to enter the market. But such situations, of course, are 100% better for beginners to avoid. Well, great, let's continue. Although, we can stop at this pair, try to work it out once more. Now look at this situation in the opposite direction. The columns are starting to pull up. And we have a level. You see? Perfectly. Plus there was a small breakout on the fractal, and as we see in the chart history, such situations often turned around for the price. Later on, it also leads to growth, meaning after a small breakout, an upward correction begins. Let's try to test it. Since this is my first acceleration, I might enter some risky trades, but I hope it will be more interesting for you to see how everything happens in practice. But to build effective trading, you need experience and a clear understanding of the market. Friends, as always, there were a few seconds to super, everything is great. Another plus. Let's move on to the next contract. Friends, a good long signal, by the way. I've already boosted my deposit quite well. I really like it. So far as this strategy shows, look at what we have. There is a level, and this can go even further. And also in terms of momentum, we see green bars on the histogram. Yes, they have slightly decreased, but that doesn't mean the price won't continue to rise, because look at the large number of lower shadows on the chart. In principle, the market is quite volatile. Right now it might stabilize in a sideways trend, but nevertheless, you see I have clearly drawn the boundary along the red line of the chaos fractal. Excellent. Friends, practice everything I show in my videos. Start on a demo account, never jump into a real account. Situations vary, markets are completely different. You might encounter the same situation in the market only after a couple of weeks. Therefore, it would be impractical to take what I am showing here now as a basis if you haven't practiced it all. Do this first on a demo account. And here we have a decent advantage, friends, a wonderful, good example. That is, my signals are the future for you, just analyze them. Well, let's move on to the next trade. So here we will move down with the trend. In momentum, as usual, we have red bars below the 0 mark. The first signal for a short. An interesting pattern has formed on the fractal. Its level is consistently decreasing from the upper boundary, which is a resistance zone, here, 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 and here. And the candles are forming long upper shadows, indicating the presence of a strong seller. Now, friends, not quite according to the system. I'm opening a trade now. Well, yes, it's better to focus specifically on the bounce from the boundary or on the breakout during high volatility. But nevertheless, when you do such accelerations, as I tell you, it becomes quite quickly difficult to find the most suitable situations. At least I still try to explain all this to you in the most accessible, understandable language. I hope I'm doing it quite well. It turns out, in any case, there might be shortcomings in my videos. Or, if you wanted to see something new, you can give me feedback in messages, Telegram, or in the comments. It will be very valuable and pleasant for me. Friends? Well, wonderful. A successful contract. Let's look for a new option. Already a decent result. We have it. Yes, friends, the market is very interesting today. The upward slope of the resistance level, which is marked by a green line on the fractal, and this indicates that the trend is being actively bought. Sellers, having taken positions, are going for a breakout. In the momentum after a prolonged decline, a bullish impulse occurred. Also, which causes the trend to move upwards. Of course, we can expect that it might also reverse, as the resistance level holds strength for the sellers. But it's important to correctly assess this strength. In this case, I see that it is practically absent. This can be determined by the previous candles of the asset's movement. Now, the main thing is, don't worry, calm down. As I say, I'm very glad that we already have such a result on the deposit. It's rare to achieve this on the first try. Therefore, I want to maximize today's acceleration to the end and make a couple more gains. So, the peaks have been updated, but for 4 seconds. I don't think there will be any impulse. Yes, friends, this acceleration will go down in history. 6,000 is already on the balance. I think the last contract will put the final point. Maybe this is already excitement, but I will open it anyway. Let's go. Friends, the position was found quickly. I wouldn't call this play simple, but I'm opening for a decrease. There is a breakout observed here, and the price is very oversold, which contributes to a possible rise. But we will move down following the trend. The reason is that the signal on momentum is very strong. The fractal has formed a fairly steep slope. The trend has descended quite deeply. If you compare it with the 0 line on momentum, this is exactly a strong short signal. Without indicators, I wouldn't be able to determine this, honestly, I'll tell you. Friends, this is the final trade for today. If it closes in profit, it will be just a crazy, crazy acceleration. Honestly, I'll tell you, right now emotions are running high, so this will be the final trade. I won't go further. And basically, there will be no need to do so. It's cool that you witnessed my acceleration. In this format, this is my first take. Friends, yes, 8769, 1769 dollars, friends. That's it. It was very cool. I think that's all. I'll show you how to withdraw the money and we'll just wrap things up. Let's go. Yes, friends, this day will go down in history. I am incredibly happy, entering the amount 8,700 and the crypto wallet address. Then I just press the continue button if someone doesn't know how to use crypto. Once again, I say a video will appear above my head. You can learn to do it just like I do. The money has been debited and it will be credited within 2 hours in cryptocurrency. Very fast. In the history, there is a status of the request as in process. You can cancel if something is wrong. But do you think I will cancel? No, of course not. I will wait. This is good news for me today. I am very happy, firstly with the result. Secondly, because there won't be a need to make a second attempt, 3, 4, 5 as it happens, usually. Alright friends, an hour and a half. And the money is in my wallet, 8,700. It's a wonderful day. I think today I can finish work and do nothing more. Okay, just kidding. Now let's summarize. Friends, words are unnecessary, so I just hope you enjoyed the video. The strategy is interesting, practice it on a demo account, use it. Great indicators, 2 old-timers that are very simple to interpret and use. As you can see, today they brought me a tidy sum. Thank you all for watching. If you watched until the end, a special thank you. I look forward to your comments. I wish you lots of profit, kindness, and peace above your head. See you soon on my channel. Goodbye, everyone.